All right, guys. Pretty excited about this message because I believe that this sermon is going to be one that is going to answer a huge question for a lot of people who have this question this time of year, very late in the year, the last month of this year, 2017. And the question that a lot of people are asking is this: what happened? They're wanting to know what happened. What did I miss? Evidently, I've missed something. What is going on? And what I mean is, there are people that are thinking, okay, I believed this was my year. This was the year. I was believing for some things to happen, and some stuff happened, and some things kind of sort of fell into place, but it seemed like there was something specific, something in particular that I was really waiting for. And it seemed like it just didn't fall through. And now it's December. It's early December. The year is almost over. And it seems like there's no hope. It seems like all is lost. It seems like I'm going to have to wait till next year. And it sucks because I was praying and hoping and believing. And I was trying to have that right now faith. And it seemed like nothing happened right now. it seems like it's all been delayed. I don't understand why that one thing that I was really hoping for just didn't fall through. And I'm here to simply say this. You know those commercials, those info commercials where they're showing you something and it's looking kind of good and you think that's it, and all of a sudden they go, but wait, there's more. Well, I'm here to say that very thing. Wait, there's more. Don't get so bent out of shape because it's the last month. God can do anything in a moment that it would take other people, man, years to do. So don't stress out just yet. Let's wait and see what happens. And so with that said, the name of this sermon is going to be called Try Me. I'll say that again. Try me. Many of you have been trying God this year, but there's something that you were supposed to try that you didn't try, and that's what's holding up progress. You might be saying, what do you mean? Well, I'm going to explain it, and then we're going to get into scripture. If you're following along, go ahead and open up to Mark chapter 3. But as you're getting there, let me explain. Really, I'm talking to two groups of people, Group A and Group B. I'm going to deal with Group A real quick because the majority of this sermon is really for you. So, for Group A, this is what the deal is. You've been believing for something and believing for it. And now here at the last minute, you've been presented with it. The problem is you don't want to acknowledge it because now, after all this waiting and praying, you're scared of it. Oh, goodness. You're scared of it. In other words, whoever this is for, you know that what you've been waiting for is in your face. But now that you, oh my goodness, now that you done went and waited and believed and talked all this game and you just been so amped up, now all of a sudden, now that it's in your face, now that you can easily grab it, it's almost like you have this it's too good to be true type mindset. And now you're too scared to go after what you know really should be yours. So really, it's not that you're waiting on God anymore. It's as if he's waiting on you. So this is what I mean by try me. This is what came to my mind yesterday. I was at work and this message just started coming to me out of nowhere. And this was the example that like came to me just out of nowhere. And it was this right here. So check this out. You know, like when you go to a store, like a retail store, like Walmart or wherever, you go to a store and you go to the toy section, right? And you walk down the aisle and there are some toys on the shelf, maybe like a teddy bear or a doll or something like that. And it'll have a button or a sticker or some type of a tag or label on it somewhere that in big letters it says what? It says, try me. And the idea of it is that you're supposed to like poke that spot or, squeeze that little spot. Like if the sticker is on the hand of the doll, you're supposed to squeeze the hand, or if it's on the chest, you just press in on the chest on that little part, right? And when you do it, something happens. Maybe it starts talking to you, or maybe a song plays, or maybe it starts to do a little dance for you or something, right? But it doesn't do it until you say, or until you try it. You have to activate it. It's there. You just got to activate it. You just do a simple thing, and it just comes to life, basically. Something that's sitting there acting kind of dead on the shelf suddenly comes to life just for you, simply because you tried it. And I don't know what it is specifically for you. I don't know. Maybe it was a job that you were really wanting, or maybe you wanted to start your own career or business, or maybe it was that vehicle that you wanted so bad. Maybe, you had a crappy set of friends in the past. They weren't true friends, and now you got an opportunity to hang out with these people that you see you have a lot in common with, and they'd be good for you and good to you. But now you've let your insecurities get the best of you, or maybe it was that relationship that you've been waiting for, and now the right one has come along, and now you're too scared to budge after all this waiting and getting yourself ready. I don't know what it is for you specifically, but something you've been waiting for has presented itself. The job opening's there. The land is there to build the business. Or now that spot is vacant, and you can just take the building that's already there. You don't even have to build nothing new. The people are there. The person is there. The opportunity, whatever it is, it's there. And it's as if it's calling your name. But now you've become too scared to go after what you've been wanting for so long. And all you have to do is try it. You don't have to do anything too extreme. You don't have to do anything over the top. You keep panicking and getting nervous and scared and thinking, well, what do I do? And what do I say? And how do I go about it? And really, you don't even have to really do that much, really. You just have to try it. You just got to put your foot in the door, so to speak. You just got to activate it. And the rest literally can just fall into place. It's just waiting for you to try it. I'll show you. I'm going to show you. Mark chapter 3. I'm going to read this, and step by step I'm going to go over these verses. But I'm just going to read the whole thing right here real quick. Mark chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. It says this. And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him, whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. And he saith unto the man which had the withered hand, Stand forth. And he saith unto them, Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save life, or to kill? But they held their peace. And when he had looked round about on them with anger, being grieved for their hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, Stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. So we see Jesus. We see him restoring the hand of a man whose hand is withered. It's worn away. It's damaged. It's not as in a good, perfect condition as his other hand is. Something that was impossible for this man to do on his own, but all he had to do was try Jesus. All he had to do was stick his hand out to Jesus the way you've got to stick your hand out to whatever it is on the shelf, so to speak, that's looking right at you. All you got to do is try it. I'll break it down for you. Verse 1, it says this. Again, it says, And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. Okay, so check this out. The key word here is again. Jesus entered in again. In other words, he had went there before, but he went again. He was wanting to go again. Why do I emphasize that? For you, it's like this. You keep having this again moment with the thing that you've been waiting for. In other words, opportunities keep arising for you to reach out and try what you've been waiting for. It's almost like this. Back to that toy aisle. You know how some toys have that motion sensor thing where when you walk by it, it can detect that you're there, and then it'll kind of like do something, like it'll say hello, right? Like it'll kind of say something or do something, but you can still go and try it, and when you try it, it'll do a little bit more, but it'll just do something simple to get your attention when you walk by because it can detect you. It's almost like you keep having moments where you walk by and, okay, you know how sometimes it can almost be kind of awkward when you walk past something and it does or says something and you don't expect it. Deep down for you actually kind of like it, but you're too scared to acknowledge. So what you do is this: you just walk by that toy on the shelf and you hope it says something, but the problem is when it says something, you don't look at it. You just keep walking, or you just kind of give it the side eye, but then you just keep walking. That's literally what you're doing. And how you know it's yours is this: it's to the point where it's so calling your name that somebody else can walk by and it won't even say nothing. It'll just be quiet. It just be chilling, like whatever. But as soon as you walk by, all of a sudden it kind of sort of comes to life a little bit, and it just waits for you to acknowledge it and try it so it can really show out. But you never do. You purposely show up. You purposely walk by it. You see that spot where you want to start your business, and you just drive by it. You just give it the side eye as you drive by. You do a drive by on it, right? Not with a gun. You know how people do the window shopping? That's literally what you're doing in the car. You're in the car and you're looking out the window, shopping that spot, but you just keep going. You know it's yours. It's in your area. It's close to where you live. The payment that you'd have to make is affordable to you now. You got people saying, hey, we favor you. We want to make a deal with you. We won't make with anybody else. Everything is lined up. It's the position you want at that job or at that company, and nobody else is qualified for it but you. Or you're not qualified, but for some reason you have favor and you got the right connections and they want you. They can hire somebody else, but they're going to hire you and give you a good chunk of change. But you just kind of just keep, like you're kind of observing at the side eye, but then you just keep going. You got this, oh my goodness. You got the same group of people always inviting you to come hang out, do good Christian fun type stuff. Not have you out there strung out and have you doing God knows what every other night. You got real, true, genuine Christian friends that actually really like you for who you are, don't want to try to change you, want to be good to you, but every time you just, I don't know, because now you didn't let all your insecurities get in the way. And the problem, simply put, is you've got to get out of the old mindset. You've got to get out of the old way of thinking about yourself and how people view you to have the confidence to move forward to get what you've been waiting for, because it's right there. See where I'm going? Same with anything else. There's that car. All of a sudden, nobody wants it, but it's in perfect condition. It's affordable to you. Somebody's supposed to cut you a deal. Oh, I don't know now. I don't know. You've been praying for it. You've been watching it parked on the side of the road since 1806. You weren't even alive in 1806, but you were looking at it. You were just in the womb, in your mother's womb, just looking. And now here you go. Here's your chance. You just giving it the side eye. Just giving it the side eye. Gonna leave it there and leave it there and leave it there. And then next thing you know, next year comes around and somebody gets their income tax and then it's gonna be gone. And you're just gonna be You're just going to be there looking funny. You're just going to drive by looking at that empty spot next time, just looking at it with the imaginary tears rolling down your face. Then, here you go. Here's for somebody else. Here you go. You've been waiting and waiting for the one. Waiting and waiting, and they go out of their way to show you that they care, to show you that they're sincere. But all you keep thinking is, well, you know, that those other people, they did me so wrong. They just did me so wrong. I don't know. I just don't know no more. I don't know. So then you keep missing opportunity. Opportunity comes up. Opportunity comes up. Opportunity comes up. Opportunity comes up. Show up at the same spot. They're leaving you're leaving the parking lot. They didn't get to say hi to you in time, so then they just send you the text message saying, hey, just wanted to say I saw you. You don't respond. See what I'm saying? So opportunities, but you just keep letting them slide. But it's right there. It's right there. All you got to do is try it. Verse 2 said, and they watched him whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. So we see that Jesus has his naysayers, the people that are always talking negative to Jesus. And I want you to really listen to this part right here. We see in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, Jesus performing all kinds of healings and miracles and deliverances for people. People are impacted greatly by Jesus. And these people don't have nothing to say. They just want to testify about him. Nothing but good things to say. No bad reviews. But you have the Pharisees and all these other people who stand back, who listen, they don't pursue an encounter with Jesus. They just stand back at a distance and watch and speculate and spectate and just have a whole bunch of negative things to say. So, with that said, let me say this. For whatever it is that you've been waiting for, and now it's here, and you're kind of like scared to really pursue it and to try it, here's something to think about. There will be people who will have good to say and maybe bad to say. But if you notice, those that have something negative to say about what you want or you pursuing what you want will be those people who are spectators, who stand back, who never really get the true, genuine encounter with this thing or with this person or with these people. They just go by little things that they've seen and little rumors that they've heard, but they've never gotten the real deal. Meanwhile, the people who really have had those encounters will tell you, hey, that's a great place to be. That's a great place to hang out. That's a great place to work. That's a great spot to start a business. Those are a good group of people to hang out with. Hey, that would be a good person for you. I think y'all would hit it off very well. But what do? We ignore the reality that these people, it's not so much what they're saying, it's the position that they're in or the position that they've been in that qualifies them to be someone that makes sense to listen to based off of their experience or lack thereof with what you're pursuing. Does what I'm saying make sense? Everybody's going to have something to say is my point. But who are you listening to? And does it make sense for you to listen to those particular people about what you're wanting to pursue? And here's another hint. Check this out. There are some people who have had an experience, so to speak, but what they'll do is, instead of saying something good, they might say something bad, but it'll be something that was bad for them, but you'll notice that it would be good for you. It's kind of like that saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. Watch this. So, for example, maybe you've been wanting to get this position at this particular job, and somebody quits it. and the spot's open to you, and you got people saying, hey, people that work there saying, hey, this is yours if you want it, and you're kind of hesitant all of a sudden now. But the person that gets out of that position, when you ask them about it, how was it? They'll say something like this: girl, let me tell you. They always want me to work on Friday and on Saturday, talking about I can have Sunday off. Girl, I don't care nothing about having no Sunday off. I want to have the weekend off. I want to go party. I want to have Friday and Saturday off sometimes, and I can go and get drunk. Girl, I want to do this. Now, them having Sunday off is bad to them. But if you listen, you might be saying to yourself, well, wait a second. I would love to have every Sunday off because I want to go to church. I don't care about going out to the club Friday and Saturday night. I want to go to church Sunday morning. So them having that schedule might have been bad for them, but it's not bad for you. In other words, sometimes you got to listen, but you got to filter. You got to decipher. You got to discern that just because it wasn't good for them doesn't necessarily mean that's not for you. In fact, it could be a sign that it's even more for you because it's not for everybody else. Just something to consider. Skipping verse 3, looking at verse 4 again, it said, and he saith unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil, to save life, or to kill? But they held their peace. So what it comes down to is this: you've got people that had something negative to say about Jesus, the spectators, but when Jesus confronted them and said, here's the deal, here's the problem, y'all are looking at it wrong, this is what's up, and he corrects them and puts them in check. It says that they held their peace. They didn't have nothing to say after that. Not so much that they couldn't say anything, it's just that they knew that what they were saying was null and void after Jesus said what he said. In other words, what they said really didn't matter no more. They could have said something, but it wouldn't have amounted to anything compared to what Jesus had to say. So what I'm saying to you is, you may be hearing things, you may be hearing rumors, but until you go to the source, until you go to that thing or that place or that person or those people and talk to them and get their side of the story, so to speak, are you sure what you're even being told is even the truth anyway? How will you know unless you try it? In verse 3 and in verse 5, Jesus said this to the man with the withered hand. In verse 3, he said, stand forth. And in verse 5, he said, stretch forth thine hand. And Jesus healed his hand. He said, stand forth and then stretch forth your hand. In other words, give me your attention. Come to me and look at me. And then give me your hand. In other words, give me your attention. Give me your undivided attention. Don't just keep swerving me and curving me and all this other stuff. Give me a moment. Look at me. Give me your attention. And try me. Put your hand forth to me. Just like pressing that button that says try me. Try me. In other words, give me a chance. Give an opportunity. You may be surprised at what happens. All he did was put forth his hand, and it was restored. It was fully restored. Now you get what I meant when you said you really don't have to do much. You don't have to go all the way in. You don't have to put all your emotions and and all your goals and everything into everything all at once. You don't have to just go all gung ho. Just try it. When you see something at the store that says try me on it, what is it even really saying? It's saying this. It's saying you can test me out before you take me to the cash register and buy me and leave the store with me. You listen, you get a test run before you decide whether or not you fully want to make the commitment. You don't have to give the full commitment just yet. You don't have to go all the way in just yet. You don't have to worry about getting your feelings hurt just yet. Try me. test me out, see what I'm about, then make your decision. Don't just make your decision now and miss out without even trying me. Try it out first and then take it from there. Let's see. Go with me to 1 Samuel chapter 17. So with that said, I'll wrap this up talking to Group A. All I'm saying to you, simply put, is try it. Whatever it is. Listen, it's different for everybody. Not everybody's going through the same thing. Not everybody has been believing for the exact same stuff. But if what I'm saying pertains to you and you know it's for you and you know that whatever it is you've been waiting for is there, you just keep ducking and dodging and just walking past and ignoring it and not saying nothing and not doing nothing and not interacting and not trying it out. If that's you, try it. So now, under Group B, who is Group B? Check this out. Group B, whoever's in Group B, here's your scenario. You had a challenge, a mountain, so to speak, a Goliath pop up, and you had an opportunity to overcome that mountain, and all you needed was faith. And you may have operated in faith, but when that challenge came, you backed up. You let your faith dwindle. And because of that, you missed out on something big. Again, Jesus comes to the synagogue. I'm just referencing that again. And what I'm simply saying to you is this. You may have an opportunity coming up again to take on that mountain, to take on that challenge, to overcome that Goliath. And all you have to do is do the very thing that you needed to do in the first place, which was to stand in faith and not let the faith die down. Look at this. Look at what it says about Goliath. Now, we know the story of David and Goliath. We know that there was God's people, the Israelites, and they were going up against a group of people called the Philistines, and they're fixing to battle it out. But all of a sudden, this giant, this champion, steps out from amongst all the other Philistines, presents himself, and he starts to mock and taunt God's people. And because he's so huge and so strong looking, many of God's people are starting to now back down and back away, even though they should know by now that the victories that they've won against the Philistines in the past and all the other groups and tribes of people that they come up against has all been because of God anyway. It was their faith in God that caused them to win, not really their own strength or ability. But because they see something a little bit bigger, because now they have this mountain of a man, so to speak, in front of them, they have now gotten to a point where they have let their looks or what they see with their natural eye get the best of their heart, and now they're afraid when they should be continuing in the faith. And of course, we know this is when David gets brought onto the scene, and of course he takes out Goliath. But I just want to look at what it says about Goliath. Starting here at verse 8, it says, "And he stood and cried unto the armies of Israel, and said unto them, Why are ye come out to set your battle in array? Am not I a Philistine? And ye servants to Saul, choose you a man for you, and let him come down to me. If he be able to fight with me and to kill me, then will we be your servants. But if I prevail against him and kill him, then shall ye be our servants and serve us. And the Philistines said, I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight together. When Saul and all Israel heard those words of the Philistine, they were dismayed and greatly afraid." All because they start going by sight and not by faith. They freak out. They panic. Verse 16 says this, "And the Philistine drew near morning and evening and presented himself 40 days. So 40 days, Goliath is just talking trash, just really giving it to them. And they still haven't done anything yet because they're still too afraid to pursue. But look at what it says in verse 43. And the Philistine said unto David, Am I a dog that thou comest to me with staves? And the Philistine cursed David by his gods. And the Philistine said to David, Come to me, and I will give thy flesh unto the fowls of the air, and to the beasts of the field. Then said David to the Philistine, Thou comest to me with a sword, and with a spear, and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the armies of Israel, whom thou hast defied. So Goliath was like, Come on, David, let's go. Let's have this battle. And David says, Okay, but I just want to let you know ahead of time. You're coming to me with your shield and your sword. You're coming to me with your own might and your own strength, which would be scary. But my power, which doesn't come from me, comes from God, the one true living God, and he is more powerful than you. So if my source is more powerful than you, then why would I go by your looks instead of by my faith? This is the mindset you must have when your Goliath gets ready to pop back up. When your chance comes back up, you have to go in it with faith, not by sight. Let me say this, and I'll even take it a step further. You know how sometimes people will say this? They'll say, you have two people in a relationship, person A and person B. Person B says they're going to go out and hang out with some people, and person A, they get to thinking and they're like, wait a minute, that one person is going to be there. So let me tell the person I'm in a relationship with not to go there because I don't trust that person. So person A will say to person B, I don't want you to go there. I don't want you to go there because that person's going to be there. They're going to try to flirt with you. And person B says, well, do you not trust me? And person A will say, it's not that I don't trust you. I just don't trust them. That may sound good, but if you think about it, some people, what they really mean is, I trust you now, but I won't trust you when that other person shows up. In other words, they're saying they don't trust this other person, but what they really mean is they do trust you until that other person comes on the scene. In other words, they don't trust you. Listen, they trust you not to start flirting, but they don't trust you to not flirt back if the other person flirts first, is what it comes down to. That's what you've been saying with God. It's like saying, I trust you, God, as long as that Goliath doesn't show up. As long as there's no challenge or no mountain, I trust you. Oh, wait, there's Goliath. No, I'm just going to go this way. I don't trust you, God. That's essentially what you've been saying. I trust you, God, but not in that. You've got to get out of your comfort zone and know this. You have to know that you are an overcomer by the blood of the Lamb and the word of your testimony, and Jesus is that Lamb. So it all comes down to this question. Do you really trust him? Do you really trust him? Do you really have faith in him? It's not, well, I don't know. I don't trust this situation. I don't trust those people. I don't trust this. It's not whether or not you can trust the situations and your Goliaths and your mountains. It's, do you trust God? Because if you trust God, it doesn't matter if you can't trust those people, places, or things. It's not about whether or not you trust the nouns in your life. Do you trust God? And that's all it's about. Do you trust Jesus? You believe Jesus is your Savior and he saves you from sin, or the consequences of sin rather, but you don't think he can help you in your time of need. You don't think he can help you against your Goliath, and so you miss out. Group A, try it. Try whatever is waiting for you on the shelf. Group B, it's not a teddy bear saying try me. It's a Goliath trying to get up in your face and say, hey, try me. Come on. And in that instant, you have to have faith in God to fight that battle, because really the battle's not yours, it's his. But the question is, do you have the faith to show up to the scene? That's all I got for you. Heavenly Father, I thank you for another time to minister another word. I pray that those who need this message will receive it, that they will grab it by the horns, Lord, and that people will go and pursue what you have for them. Let them pursue their promised land. Let them pursue their promised things, their promised people, their promised families, their promised business and career opportunities. Lord, let your people not be led by a spirit of fear, but by your Holy Spirit. And I give you the praise, the glory, and the honor. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.